It's 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, January the 17th, 2023. I call this regular meeting of the Kingsville Independent School District to order. We'll have roll call. Joe Morales. Here. Martine Chapa. Here. David Garcia. Here. James Blusing. Here. Delma Salinas. Here. Brian Kupal is here. Let the record show there is a quorum of board members present, that this meeting has been posted in accordance with Government Code Chapter 551, the State of Texas Open Meetings Act. We move to the moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
This meeting is being live video streamed, and we move to item number 4, which is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Blusing,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Salinas. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries 6-0. Item number 5 is public participation. Ms. Pettis, do we have anyone who wishes to address the board?
No, sir, not at this.
We move now to item number 6, which is communication from administration. Item 6A is a school board recognition month proclamation. This is being presented by Dr. Pettis and can be found on page 2 to 3 of our packet.
Thank you, President Kupal. First of all, I would like to, from the bottom of my heart, thank all of our school board members for all of the support that you've given me as superintendent, but of course to the district and to all the students and the staff of KISD. I know it is sometimes a thankless job and you don't get paid for it. But you pay for it with your time, and we thank you very, very much for it. Our staff and students from all of the campuses, they submitted some really heartfelt little tokens of appreciation. And I'm really very impressed with everything that the students did. You can tell that they did it from their heart. So I want to thank all of our principals and our staff, our counselors, for submitting them for them. They look really nice. I like them. They're like wallpaper right here. I love it. So thank you so much. And we have our distinguished mayor, Fugate, here to read the proclamation.
I'm not going to tell that old story about being on this board, but I always like to tell the story. The first time I was elected, I had a friend of mine that was on the board, and she called me and she said, "Oh, Sam, that once they swear you in, all they do is swear it." So I appreciate everything y'all do for this community. Y'all are a big part of Kingsville, and as an old brain, I really appreciate all of you. And I have a proclamation from the city. Whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the diverse educational needs of all our children and to empower them to become competent, productive contributors to a democratic society in an ever-changing world. Whereas local school board members are committed to children and believe that all children can be successful learners and that the best education is tailored to the individual needs of the child. And whereas local school board members work closely with parents, educational professionals, and other community members to create the educational vision we want for our students. Whereas local school board members are responsible for ensuring the structure that provides a solid foundation for our school system. And whereas local school board members are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectation to the district. Now, therefore, I, Sam Fugate, Mayor of the City of Kingsville, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of January 2023 as School Board Recognition Month in the city in Kingsville, Texas, and urge all our citizens to join me in recognizing the dedication and hard work of local school board members and in working with them to mold an education system that meets the needs of both today and tomorrow's children. And when, in witness whereof, I have hereunto caused the seal of the city of Kingsville, Texas to be affixed this the 17th day of January 2023, and signed by me and is attested by our city secretary, Mary Valenzuela. Thank you again for all you do. I really appreciate it. Go bring us.
Oh, okay. You want to wait until we have our complete board? Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We move now to item 6B, which is the budget recap report, the check register for December 2022. This can be found on page 4 to 11 of our packet. Dr. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Kupel, Dr. Pettis, members of the board. At the top of the check register, you see Severin Intermediate Holdings. That is our district software. That's our annual renewal. It has all our finance information, HR, and student information, and backup all the way through 2003. So that's a once-a-year payment. Right underneath that, you see Lake Country Chevrolet. These were the maintenance vehicles. 4 pickup trucks were purchased. There is one more van that will become available in April that you will eventually see on the check register. But as of now, we have already purchased the 4 pickup trucks, and they are already in operation in the district. You see our security software that we need to purchase annually. The fence around the high school, that job has been completed. Also, you see our quarterly appraisal fees. And let's go all the way down to visual techniques. We had 30 vape detection systems that we purchased for both the high school and for Gillette. Next, we are also purchasing some cameras outside the restroom as well to make sure that our students are safe. You go down and you look at all the way to Waterford. That is going to be instructional software that will be used with our special education and our pre-K students as well. Another instructional program is Rethink Autism. Finally, you look at RGO roofing. That is for the maintenance shop roof. They are almost complete with that now, just pending some final touch-ups. So you will probably see 1 or 2 more smaller payments, and then they'll be done with the maintenance shop roof. You also see a big repair that was done to the CTE building over at the high school as well. I'll take any other questions you have on the check register.
Are there any further questions? If not, thank you, Dr. Pitts. We move to item number 7, which is new business. Item 7A, by common consent, the board agrees to consider as one action item the following. Number 1, the approval of special board meeting minutes of December 6, 2022. Number 2, the approval of special board meeting minutes of December 19, 2022. And number 3, the approval of special board meeting minutes of January 10, 2023. Board, I'm going to ask that item number 2, the special board meeting minutes of December 19, 2022, be removed at this time. There are some amendments that need to be made to those minutes before they come back to us for approval. So with the exception of the December 19th, do I have a motion to approve December 6th and January 10th? So moved. Motion made by Mr. Morales.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Chapa. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries 6-0. Item 7B, discussion and possible action regarding national.
I apologize because The items are individual and as a consent. If we do pull one out, we have to take action on the item individually. So we should take a vote to table the item so it comes back at the next meeting.
All right. Let's not approve those then.
No, you did it the right way. You approved the other two. All we gotta do now is just take action on the one we pulled out.
All right. I make a motion that we table the special board meeting minutes for December 19, 2022. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Coupal, seconded by Mr. Salinas, Ms. Salinas. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Discussion and possible action regarding the National School Counseling Week proclamation. This can be found on page 19 and 20 of our packet. Dr. Bessanites.
Good evening, Board President, Dr. Bettis, and board members. National School Counseling Week will be celebrated February the 6th to the 10th of early next month. So this is the following proclamation. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential. And whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children. And whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. And whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and to help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive development school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve their school. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Kingsville Independent School District do hereby proclaim February 6th through 10th, 2023 as National School Counselors Week.
Okay, board, we've heard the proclamation. Is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Ms. Salinas.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Morales. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
We have our counselors.
Oh, good. Can we have the counselors come to the?
Yeah, so we can take a picture. We so appreciate all the work you all do. You're amazing. Happy New Year.
Just steps to your left.
Go ahead.
One more step.
No, everybody wants to.
And one more. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we move to item 7C, which is discussion and possible action regarding TEA state waiver for class size exception. We found on page 21 of our packet. Dr. Holt. Mr. Pitt, Dr. Pitt.
Yes, Dr. Holt wasn't able to present tonight, so I will be presenting this item. Texas Education Code 25.112 states that whenever a classroom in grades pre-K through 4 goes over a student to teacher ratio of 22:1, that a waiver must be submitted to TEA. Now, right now we have 2 third grade classes that are at 23 students, and instead of hiring 2 extra teachers for those 2 extra students, we have provided them extra support with tutors so that the students can get extra support there. This not only gets students the extra support that they need, but also supports the district's financial goals as well. I'll take any questions that you may have.
Dr. Pitts, the memo that we had says we have one grade level at Pettis Elementary. We have two.
We have one grade level with 2 classrooms that have 23 students there. Now, if we ever got to a point where we had, let's say, if we had 25 students in several classrooms, then we would definitely hire another teacher. But whenever we're just one over, it's not fiscally responsible to hire another teacher and then shuffle kids around in the middle of the year to, especially at the elementary level, continuity with the same teacher is paramount.
And chances are a student may withdraw and we'd be right back from 23 to 22. So it kind of fluctuates, but just to make sure that we're abiding by all the laws, we want to make sure and bring this to you.
So by approving this resolution, this would allow, whenever one particular classroom goes over, we have to submit a waiver for that one particular classroom. So if another one does go over 22 in the year, we would also be able to submit that as well. Now, again, we would, if the class numbers warrant another teacher, we would hire another teacher.
How much tutor are they getting? You mentioned tutors, how much time are they getting on that?
They have a tutor assigned just specifically to the 3 teachers in 3rd grade.
Okay.
And so it's not being split with other grade levels.
Okay,
That was,
yeah, I get it.
Ms. Torres is here, so she's assured that that's correct. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, board, you've heard the recommendation from administration that we approve the waiver. Is there a motion to that effect? Salinas makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Morales. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Any opposition? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Dr. Pitts. Item 7D, discussion and possible action regarding the second reading of board policy EIC local academic achievement. This can be found on page 22 to 26 of our policy of our packet. Dr. Sandoval.
Thank you, Mr. Kupal, Board of Trustees, I'm Dr. Pettis. I'm here to bring you the second reading of EIC local. It was brought to you back in December of last semester. And there's a few revisions that we wanted to make sure that there were some concerns that were brought to our attention. We looked at some additional information regarding the policy and how it affects students. So we wanted to make some revisions to it and see if this would be to your liking. The policy that was presented to you back in the fall of December, we stated that we were going to allow students to get an elder class that's a dual credit between a 60 to 69, that we're going to bump it up to a 70, and then give them a tier 3 weighting, which would give them an additional 10 points. After some concern and consideration brought to our attention, we decided to make a revision to that and move it and still provide the 60 to 69, bump it up to a 70, but no longer make it a tier 3. It would stay as a tier 1, so there would be no additional bumping at that point. It would stay at 70. The other revision that was made to this policy was we stated that it's beginning with the graduating class of 2025. So it would affect any current juniors or seniors. It would start with our current sophomores now who've had a year and a half of possible dual credit courses. So it would apply to them and they would get that bump from a 60 to a 70, or from anywhere between 60 and 69 to a 70. The other revision that we made to this policy, we made policy revisions to this or changes to this policy last year. And because we were short teachers and there were courses that we needed to teach that were dual, that were distance learning courses, or there were courses taught on edgeability. And we only had the policy due to teacher shortage for 2021-22. Well, we're still having experiencing some of those shortages. So we're adding, beginning with 21-22, we're going to continue to offer the opportunity for students that need a course that we don't have a teacher for at the high school, still have the opportunity to take that course and would be weighted as part of EIC local policy. So I'll take any question you may have regarding these revisions to EIC local as part of the second reading.
Who approves that student taking that course?
That'd be the high school principal.
Okay. Any further questions? We've heard the second reading now with the revisions. Is there a motion to accept the policy as revised? Motion made by Mr. Morales, seconded by Mr. Chapa. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Dr. Sandoval. Item 7E, discussion and possible action regarding purchases over $50,000. These are listed on pages 27 to 28 of our policy. Dr. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Gupel. These are some of our textbook adoptions that we need extended for a couple more years. When we originally adopted them, there was a certain number of years that were purchased up front, but now that they've moved some of the adoptions back, we need to purchase basically some stopgap materials for a few more years. So this is something that normally the textbook adoption, it would not come back to the board because the board has already adopted it, but now because of the new policy over 50,000, regardless of whether it's on my board, we are bringing this back to you. Again, these are instructional materials that the district is already using that we need to purchase additional materials through the next few years until the next adoption.
You've heard the presentation by Dr. Pitts. Is there a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. Garcia. Seconded by Ms. Salinas. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Any opposition? Motion carries 6-0. Item number 8. The board will now enter into closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074 to deliberate and consider the following. 8A, review of applications and discussion regarding trustee vacancy place 5. Item 8B, consider and deliberate with legal counsel regarding legal and personnel matters. No action will be taken until we return to open session. We are entering closed session at 5:52 p.m.
That was fast.
You like that?
No, everything's sounding good.
We're adjourned.
We're gone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Take that back. We now return to open session and take necessary action on matters which the board may discuss in open session, which action may be taken. We are returning to open session at 6:34 p.m. Item 9A, discussion and possible action to appoint a replacement from applicants for the trustee vacancy of the unexpired term of Elizabeth Ramos.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a nomination.
Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
I nominate Joseph Reese to replace board member Ramos for KISD School Board Place 5.
Motion has been made to select Joseph Ruiz as a replacement for applicants for the trustee vacancy of the unexpired term of Elizabeth Ramos. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Chopper. All right. Board members, we're going to take a roll call vote. Joe Morales,
No.
Martin Chapa,
Yes.
David Garcia,
Yes.
James Glusing,
No.
Delma Salinas,
Yes.
Brian Kuvo will vote yes. That's 4 votes for Mr. Ruiz, 2 votes against Mr. Ruiz. Mr. Joseph Ruiz will be our replacement. The board has selected Joseph Ruiz to replace Elizabeth Ramos's unexpired term. Item number 10. There being no further action, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Morales,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Garcia. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourning this meeting at 6:36 p.m.